Yeah, sure. Very good afternoon to you both. Nice easy one to start, hopefully. Warren, can you just give us an injury update on where the squad is?
We announced about Finn Russell, so he's still in the same position. Owen Farrell has just got a slight abdominal strain. He should be fit for Saturday, which is what the medics are saying. Just thinking, apart from that, a couple of sore bodies, but we're pretty good apart from that.
Could you also confirm to us one way or another if Marcus Smith has actually arrived with you yet, or when you're expecting?
Yeah, just had a chat to him in the hotel, so he's arrived safely. So he said he slept pretty well on the second leg, and so we'll just get him up to speed, and there's a good chance that he'll be involved probably in the weekend.
And just on Marcus Smith, while we've mentioned him, he's going to have been played for 3 different teams in the space of 2.5 weeks. Can you just explain who's in charge of getting him up to speed?
Yeah, well, it's a big part of that is his role really. So he'll have to go through the playbooks on the laptops over the next few days, and it's going to be a bit of a challenge for him. But he's obviously done exceptionally well this season, and we won't be putting any pressure on him, and so hopefully he'll get some game time on the weekend.
You spoke at the end of the last match about the significance and how important it is that you get some tougher opposition. Is that what you're expecting from South Africa this week?
Yeah, we've just seen the team that they've announced a few minutes ago, so it looks pretty strong. They've probably gone with as strong as they possibly can, given that they still have some cases and players unavailable. So yeah, it's going to be a good test for us on Wednesday.
And when it comes to your selection for this, Warren, how important was it for you to make sure that everyone's got a couple of starts under their belt before you start thinking about test selection?
Yeah, that's part of it, and spoke to the players, some of the players, the forwards this morning about now in the next couple of games is making the most of the opportunities, and really now that players would have had a couple of games, we sort of reiterated just how close some of these selections are going to be, and there's going to be some fine margins. So it's about going out there and giving it your best and making the most of these opportunities, because we know there's some really tough calls to make.
And if I could just ask one to Conor before letting someone else come in. Conor, I appreciate for you guys at the moment tensions may be starting to rise ahead of a test selection on the horizon. What's it like been in training now that you've changed base into Cape Town? And is it getting that little bit more exciting perhaps?
Yeah, definitely. I think since we've reached Cape Town, I think all players are aware that the tests are only around the corner. So yeah, there's been a few little chats amongst players that things are getting serious now. With selection and things. So yeah, there's going to be a noticeable kind of edge to training, you would imagine, in the lead up to Wednesday's game, to Saturday's game. I think since we've moved here, I think the focus has definitely shifted a little bit towards the more serious side of the tour, which is exciting.
Thanks, both.
Thank you.
Warren, if I could just come to you, please. Notice this 6-2 split on the bench. Is that a selection decision, or is that forced upon you by injuries and possible isolating as well?
Given that, a little bit of both really. So given that we didn't have Finn and Owen available to us, so we kind of took upon that. We've sort of been pretty lucky with the forwards. Everyone's been available with the forwards, and we wanted to rest Duhan Van der Merwe in terms of he's had a couple of games and he felt he needed a rest, and there was a couple of players that have been doubling up, particularly with the midfield as well, with Robbie Henshaw being out. So it's just kind of making sure we manage the players as well as we possibly can, and get everyone fit coming up to this weekend so that they're in contention for test selection.
Just lastly from me, I know he's sat next to you, so I don't mean to make it awkward, but what do you want to see from your half-backs on Wednesday night?
Thanks.
Lots of chat, just I know how experienced Conor's been. It's been hard sort of when we named him to take over from Alan Wynne as tour captain. This is his first start, so he's had to sit and wait for a couple of games, and he just expecting him to do what he does, and he's always calm. He's always very error-free. Got a great kicking game, breakdown, good pass and stuff. So incredibly experienced. So I'm pretty sure that given the challenge that we'll face with South Africa and the strong team that they've put out, he'll do the things that he does well and lead by example in terms of the way he plays. And I think that's the most important message that Conor will have.
Thank you.
Hey Warren, would it be possible to get, you mentioned Owen there and his abdominal strain, is Robbie Henshaw, is he in contention for Saturday? Should he be in the mix for that?
Yeah, he's back training, he hasn't taken a full part in all the sessions, but he's back training. He's, look, if it was something else we could have pushed him for tomorrow evening, but we decided to make sure that he had a few extra days, and so he'll play on Saturday.
Great, and then just one for Conor, if that's okay. Hey Conor, must be delighted to get the first start. Hope it all goes well at the weekends. Just was looking at the, as Owen was with Owen and Finn being out there. Elliot Davey might be able to cover a bit of out half, but have you mentioned to Warren that you're more than and willing and able to step in if you're needed in that position?
Yeah, I think with the game just gone, you need to be quite adaptable in terms of being able to play multiple positions. So yeah. In the lead up to the last game, my notebook on one side of it was filled of what passages or positions to take up from 10 and who to hit off starter play. So yeah, I have that in the back of my mind as well. I think with the Lions tour, anything can happen, and if you need to step in there, then it would be it'd be kind of nice to do, and you got to make sure you're prepared for a few eventualities. So yeah, I reminded him that I played there a little bit in autumn, and went okay. But yeah, if it needs to happen, then you need to be ready to step in. So Lions tours control all sorts of curveballs, especially this one, with the way the things are in the world. So ready to go.
Great stuff. Right, good luck.
Cheers.
Thank you. My first question will be for Conor, and then I'll have a second one for Warren. Given what Warren said about the strength of the South African A team, how close to a test intensity will this be? I mean, given it's most likely to be your first real test on the tour?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty much a test match. If you look at their lineup, it's going to be a really intense game. It's going to be a trial run for the tests, or almost a fourth test. So, yeah, like I said, since we've arrived in Cape Town, I think players have switched into a little bit more serious mode in terms of our prep and the edge that we have in training. And now having seen the South African A lineup, it's only going to sharpen our focus even more. It's going to be a real battle. So yeah, it's almost like a fourth test for us. With the lineup that they've selected. So, a massive challenge and good prep for what's to come.
Then for Warren.
Yep.
Warren, thanks. Given that you said last week, you touched on the fact that you suspect that the second and third test might be in Cape Town as well. Is there any confirmation of what's happening beyond the Saturday's game? Or?
No, I haven't had any. 100% confirmation yet. So just waiting to hear from the South African side in terms of their organisation when they do confirm what we're actually doing. So we know we're down here for the next 3 games, and then we'll just wait to see what happens, whether we're staying in the Cape Town region or whether we're going back up to Joburg. So just waiting to hear from them.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Hi Warren, Hugh Goblin here.
G'day Hugh.
Hi there. You've mentioned the strength of this South Africa A team. Before the tour, was this the kind of strength you were expecting them to put out in this fixture? And secondly, how ready do you feel to meet this challenge at this stage of your tour?
I probably wasn't expecting them to be as strong as they are. They're obviously shorter gains, but I'm absolutely delighted with the team they've put out because that helps our preparation immensely. So we'll kind of get a bit of a feel where we are and what things we need to work on in the 10 days sort of lead into the first test. So I'm really pleased with that, with how strong that team is, because it's, even though it's a South African A game, it's going to be a tough challenge, and everything's about winning the Test series and preparing for that. And I keep referring back to 2009. When we hit the first Test, we'd played under teams that were under strength in terms of not having the Springboks, and we weren't quite ready, or we thought we were a little bit better prepared than we were. So that's in the back of my mind. So the fact that I've seen that side, we'll get a good indication of where both teams are after Wednesday night's match.
And I don't know how likely this would be, but did they give you any heads up that they were going to pursue that after the George match was called off last week?
No, not really, but it's perfectly understandable, because they feel like they're underdone, and they'll need a hit out or two. And what they look to do on Saturday, I'm not too sure, but I'm presuming they'll be looking for a match on Saturday as well, with some of the other players in the squad that haven't played. They'll feel that they've had the first game against Georgia, where they probably they were a little bit rusty, obviously, in the first half, and then they showed some of their strengths and a lot of things that we're expecting them to be strong at in the Test matches. Cheers.
Rory?
Sorry to throw things at you that are happening right now, but there's a press conference going on across town with Razzie, and he said a few interesting things. He said Alan Wynne is set to join up with you in the next couple of days. Is that correct?
There's a possibility. He's back in training, so we're waiting for the medical reports from him to see what happens with that.
He's also said he wants to play you again on Saturday instead of the Stormers. Is that something you'd be up for, or is that a bit too much?
Sorry?
They want to play you again on Saturday instead of the Stormers. He wants another A game. Is that a bit too much?
We won't be playing them again on Saturday.
Okay, cool. Is Ron Keller coming out, or is anyone else coming out? Because there's a bit of talk back here that Ron Keller's coming out.
We're just going to make a decision on that. One of the discussions that we'd had with the South African management was that they were a little bit concerned about front row cover, that if we did pick up some injuries, the fact that players or replacement players would have to spend a number of days before they could join the squad officially. So we're just looking at, did we need cover at hooker if we picked up an injury there, and then picked up an injury in training. They were concerned that possibly a game could go down to uncontested scrums, so we might just look at making sure we've got some cover in the front row in terms of that hooker position.
Thank you.
Hi Warren, Raman here from STV. Obviously you've got Chris Harrison, who's more familiar position at 13. I just wondered how much good football he's given you in terms of his performance at the weekend as well. Yeah, no, I thought
he did well, and obviously he hasn't played a huge amount at 12, but he's got a nice try and backed up. He's been defending strongly and carrying well. So, and the good thing about his game is he's been pretty much error free. So look, he's definitely putting his hand up, and I think those three midfielders, it's been a little bit of a challenge for them because they've had to back up, and with Robbie having that hamstring, and I know we've had Owen at 12 as well, so they've been fantastic in terms of the way that they've played and then been prepared to either back up the following game or sit on the bench, and we've asked them to do that, and they've been brilliant. So yeah, I thought Chris has done really well so far.
Nick?
Hey Warren, just following up on the Alan Wynne thing, if he did come out, how much of a kind of a boost would be just to have his presence in the camp?
Oh, obviously, look, a few weeks ago we didn't think that was an option, and he's been back fully training with Wales. He's training this week with them. I think he's doing a double session tomorrow with them, and we'll just see what the outcome of that is. So he has made a remarkable recovery in terms of that injury, which the assessment was initially that it wasn't as bad as they first thought. So that's a real positive, and it would be a boost to the squad to having someone of his experience and calibre to come back into the squad.
When do you need to make that call by?
Probably tomorrow. Just seeing what happens with that. Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay, thanks very much everyone. Cheers.